I'm standing there watching my sister's casket being lowered into her grave. I can hear the pastor say, "This is a final resting place." And as he says that, my mind goes back to our childhood. We were two normal children who grew up together. We would have fun, we would fight and argue, and when we fought and argued, my grandmother would grab us, spank us, and make us sit on the back steps. We lived in a 3-story brick house with white marble steps. This is one of the landmarks for Baltimore. When you come in the front door, there are some steps that go up to the 2nd floor, across, down the hall, and come down to the kitchen. Those were the back steps that my sister and I had to sit on for 1/2 an hour for our punishment. Hug each other and apologize and forgive each other. You can imagine how close that made us feel. We did. And my sister was unique. She was very athletic. She was large for her size. She weighed about 200 pounds. But she was fun-loving. She could roller skate, play tennis, swim all day. You name it, she could do it. And if you weren't careful, she'd beat you at it. She earned the nickname of Tons of Fun. And that's exactly what she was. But life caught up with us. And the war was going on in Vietnam. I was drafted after I finished high school, and she was in her first year of college. We kept in touch by writing. In one of her letters, she told me that she had fallen in love with a police officer, and they were thinking about getting married. When I came home, we had our whole life in front of us. I was about 23, and she was 24. She was still working on her doctorate at Indiana U, and she had made the decision to get married. The awkward part was that our father didn't raise us. He wasn't there for us. We knew who he was. We knew where he lived, but he just chose not to have any dealings with us. My sister, being the brave one, said that she was going to ask him anyway. She asked him to walk her down the aisle, and for some reason, he refused. My grandfather could not do it because he was bedridden. So the responsibility and the joy and the love fell upon me. I was going to walk her down the aisle. But this time, we were not going to do it to the traditional, "Here comes the bride." We had our own upbeat song, and we just danced right down the aisle, right up to the altar. And I just knew that this was going to be a marriage made in heaven. A little while later, she had gone off to be with her husband and live, and I was still home helping my mother because she was recovering from paralysis. So I was working and taking care of everything. And a short while afterwards, I got a phone call. My mother had to take my sister to the emergency ward because she had swallowed some pills, an overdose. So I rushed to the hospital, and the doctor said it wasn't that critical, but we had to keep her moving so she could work it out of her system. Now, she's 300 pounds. This time, she is not tons of fun. But we worked our way through it because we were together. She held on to me, and I held on to her, and we made it. I asked if she wanted to talk. She said no. But I shouldn't have listened to her because a month later, I got another call. She was right back in the emergency ward again. But this time when I looked at her and looked in her eyes, I did not see the tons of fun that I had grown up with. I knew one thing for sure. She was in serious trouble. Serious trouble. But she didn't want to talk about it. About a year later, I was home, and I heard these heavy footsteps running up the steps, running up the steps, running up the steps. It was my uncle. He was calling me. He said, "Get your clothes on. Your sister shot herself. Come on, let's go." So we rushed over to her apartment. We got there. I saw my brother-in-law and 2 police officers sitting at the kitchen. And they pointed to the bedroom. We went in to see her. She was laying on a gurney, and she had just her face exposed. Whatever pain she was suffering, whatever pain, by the expression on her face, it was gone. She appeared to be at peace. And I was saying to myself, wow, what could I have done? Then I heard the voice of the funeral director saying, family and friends may return to their cars. Now I'm returning to reality, and I am in serious, serious trouble myself, because I want to know what made my sister do it. What could we have done, or what did we do wrong because she succeeded? I have spent the last 47 years studying, reading books. I earned a master's, earned a PhD, trying to find out why does people commit suicide. I'm a licensed clinical pastoral counselor. I've been doing this for about 50 years now. And I want to help others who are in the same position that I am in. I even wrote a book, I Deserve to Live, helping people escape toxic relationships so what happened to my sister would not happen to them. What I want you to do is remember these 6 things, and hopefully it'll help you save somebody's life. 3 of these things come from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because when a person comes to you and says they want to kill themselves, they want a friend. They don't want you to criticize them, condemn them. Don't criticize, complain, or condemn. When they talk, these are the last 3 things. Listen, 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 and you should be able to pull them back. You can't talk them back, but they can talk themselves back. Remember, don't criticize, complain, and condemn, and you may never have to watch your loved one's casket being lowered.
I have just had the distinct honor to hear Clarence's powerful and moving talk about suicide. His accounts of what he experienced with his sister killing herself moved me to tears. I feel strongly that his talk should be requisite viewing for everybody with suicides on the increase. Thank you for the important message that you are bringing out into the world, Clarence.
Listening to Clarence speak today with such raw emotion and such a personal story, it's just so awe-inspiring. And then to hear how he's devoted his life's work so that others don't have to go through this pain, and if they do, they know how to move forward from it. It just chills. Truly thought-provoking, inspiring, and just amazing.
Clarence's words were so poignant. I mean, this is such a difficult issue, particularly for the families, friends. They always wonder what they could have done. And I think his directive to just listen, give them support so that they can find their way out of their suicidal tendencies. It's good stuff.